Kanye West has one of the greatest discographies out of a lot of artists. And now, since he has such a great discography, I thought this video I wanted to put these on a tier list because last Kanye West video you guys liked a lot. So yeah, we're gonna do it again. So consider this a part to the last video, except for we're just ranking these on S to F tier. And we're gonna cut right to it. So yeah, let's get into it. And don't forget, these are all in my opinion. The College Dropout. Now, in my opinion, this is Kanye's best album. And the only reason I say this is just because, like, you know, it's his first album, obviously. And it just has so many good tracks on it. It's kind of hard to beat. And, I think the best way to rank this is, I'm going to give it an S, okay? And this isn't just because I personally think it's his best album. And, yeah, there's other factors, like the fact that it came out first. But it's not even just that. It's like, I like the style of it more than his other albums. I mean, Graduation is number 2 for me. But still, I think The College Dropout is just, it has better flows. I don't know, there's something about it that I just like more, you know? So yeah, that's my honest ranking. Don't forget, this is all my opinion. Late Registration. Again, personally, I said in the last video, I do think this is overrated. And it's a great album, don't get me wrong. But, again, it's just too overrated for me. I think there's a lot better tracks on The College Dropout, Graduation, other albums like that. So, yeah, honestly, it's not my favorite, but it is a classic. Now, if I had to rank this, I would put it in A, just because, like I said, it's not my favorite, but it'll always be a classic. And, you know, and again, the S spot is dedicated to what I think is the best Kanye West album. So I'm gonna have to put it in A, just because that's like the, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, you know, those types of albums. So yeah, that's my honest rating of it, and let's move on to the next one. Graduation. Most likely Kanye West's most popular album of all time, if I had to guess. And it's good. It's for a good reason. Okay. Now this album is amazing, and like I said, it's not better than The College Dropout, but it's still great. Now I'm just gonna get right to it and say that this album goes immediately in A. And to be fair, a lot of albums will be going in A just because his discography is so great. But some of the albums just aren't good. But yeah, we'll get to that later. But for Graduation, it definitely has a right to be overrated. And I just think there's so many good tracks on it, and it's just almost the perfect album, besides a few songs. But yeah, anyways, that's my honest review for Graduation. Let's move on. '808s and Heartbreak. I'm gonna say it again like I did in the last episode. It's not my favorite album, but it definitely is up there. Now, I think the best way to rank this album is to put it in, I'm gonna have to put it in B. I don't think it's equal to Graduation. You know, I just don't believe that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a great album. I will admit, it is a great album. But there's some songs on there, I would say there's more okay songs than there are amazing songs. Anyways, let's move on. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Let's get straight into it. This album is overrated.
Wait,
I don't care what you say. No, hear me out. This album just, I mean, I hate to say it, but, like, I would say out of the tracks, half of it is good and half of it is just okay. Now, I mean, I gotta give my honorable mentions to, like, Dark Fantasy and let's see what else. Gorgeous, I love. Monster is great. What else is on the album? Here, I gotta look this up. Oh, All the Lights, obviously. That's about it for me, honestly, out of the 13 songs. I don't know, it's just, again, I think it's overrated, but I do understand why people overrate it. I do understand, but again, this is all in my opinion. So, yes, your rankings might be different from mine, but, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I forgot to say, I would probably put this album in A. I definitely think it's better than 808s and Heartbreak, but still, it isn't the best. Anyways, let's continue. Watch the Throne. Now listen, again, I regret what I said last video, that I said that it's better than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I completely regret that. I apologize, because I realized that is probably the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life. And to rate this album, I probably put it in C, just because I really do not like it that much. So, yeah, let's just continue. The album that we all know and love, maybe not a lot of you, but I love it, and it definitely is overrated, but still. Listen, we're gonna go straight into it and say that this is top 3 Kanye, okay? I don't care what you say, this is absolutely top 3 Kanye, okay? Now again, you guys might have different rankings, but, you know, mine are just the best. I'm just joking, but still. I think, and the reason I say this is just because, like, you know, because it is, you know, the most experimental Kanye West album of all time. And I really appreciate him, like, trying something different. So, yeah, that's why I love it so much. And that's why I'm gonna have to put it in top 3. Anyways, if I had to rank this, I'm gonna put it in A immediately. Because, yeah, I just love the album that much. Anyways, let's move on. The Life of Pablo. In my opinion, this is pretty much peak Kanye. This was his uprising from a 3-year difference from the last album to, you know, The Life of Pablo. And there are a lot of amazing tracks on this album. And the best place to put it is obviously going to have to be A, just because I really like the album, you know. I don't even think it's top 5, to be honest, but I still like the album a lot. I mean, there are a lot of tracks. I visit this album a lot. I always revisit this album. I mean, there's a lot of Kanye West albums I revisit, but this one I revisit probably the most. But I still don't think it's his best. And, yeah, that's my honest ranking for it. And, yeah, overall, it's a great album. Yay. This would be Kanye West's best album if it was longer, and it's a beautiful album. It really is. I just wish it was longer, because it would be Kanye West's best album, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to put this in A. Actually, no, I'm going to put it in B. And the reason I say this is because I don't think it's equal. I don't even think it's equal to The Life of Pablo, to be honest. And that's mainly just because of, I mean, I hate Wouldn't Leave. And other than that, it's just I wish it was longer. But this is overall an amazing album still, even though it's so short. And I love violent crime, so yeah. Jesus is King. This album is overhated on, but I do understand why people rank it so low. And it's just because a lot of the songs on here just aren't the best. But I really do like Follow God. So, yeah, if I had to rank this album, I'm gonna sadly have to put it in D, just because it's really not matched to any others of his work. But I do appreciate him trying. But, yeah, that's my honest review of it. Donda. I actually really do love this album. I'd even put it in top 5, yay. And I really just think it's so emotional, and even though there's like songs like Donda Chant, you know, there's still a message in it, kind of. And to rank this album, I'm going to probably put it in B, just because I don't think it's equivalent to Late Registration, Graduation, or like some other albums. But still, like, well, here, let me name another one. I don't even think it's equivalent to Yandhi, to be honest. But it's still such a, like, amazing and emotional album. I still like it. And, you know, to be honest, too, is there's so many filler tracks. That's its biggest flaw. I do not like how there's a lot of filler tracks. But other than that, it's still a great album. And it's still emotional, and it's still peak. So, yeah, that's my honest ranking of it. Vultures 1. This album is heavily overrated. I mean, no, sorry, not overrated, overhated. And I've changed a lot since last video, you can tell, right? But still, I think that this is really just an amazing album, to be honest. And like I said, it's so overhated, and it really doesn't deserve the hate. I think there's, like, you know, there's horrible songs like Carnival, which is, you know, stuck in my head from all the brain rot and stuff, but still, no matter what, there's still more better songs than there are just okay songs, at least in my opinion. Now, there are, like, some, like, really bad songs, like Do It. That's, I think, is the worst song, in my opinion. But still, that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is ranking it. And now I'd have to put this in C only because it still just doesn't peak like Kids See Ghost or The Life of Pablo or even My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It doesn't even 808s and Heartbreak. It doesn't even peak that, but it's still pretty good. Now, yeah. And for Vultures 2, since you know it's 1 and 2, I'm gonna do it in the same thing. And yeah, Vultures 2, I'm gonna probably put it above Vultures 1 still. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in B just because I still like it more. Because, you know, I think there's more better tracks on there. But still, they're both pretty good albums and they're heavily overhated. So yeah, let's move on. For the next few albums, which are unreleased ones, and some of them are released, we're gonna be ranking them just by this and with never listened to. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never really listened to Cruel Summer a lot. Love Everyone, I think, is decent, but it's so weird, so I'm gonna have to put it in C. Good Fridays, I've never heard of. Whatever this album is, I can't read it. I've never heard of. And All Day is pretty good, but I'm gonna have to put it in C. TurboGrafx deserves, I think it deserves, yeah, it deserves a B. Okay, and Yandhi is hard. I would put it in A. I would put it in C, but the perfect place to go is right in the middle, right? So I'm gonna have to put it in B. And that's actually it for the unreleased ones. That's actually it for all of them. So yeah. Anyway, that concludes today's video, and if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want me to do even more Kanye West videos, let me know, because I know you guys love the last one, so, yeah. Anyways, that's been, it for ranking on the Kanye West albums, and don't forget, this is all my opinion, so, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye.